Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do a full review of the Seiko SKX009. This is the Pepsi bezel variant. As you can see, we have the red and the blue here. Now there is also a black version which I used to own, but I've owned this one for the past couple of years, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it, as well as go over some of the main specifications of the watch. Now this exact model, if you're in terms of diameter and width, we're looking at 43 millimeters in diameter. So it's a little bigger than your average 40. It's a bit bigger than something like a Rolex Submariner. But it's really not that big on the wrist. It's definitely wearable. Now in terms of the actual thickness, we do have 13 millimeters here. 13 millimeters thick. Now lug to lug, we're looking at 46 millimeters. Lug width here, in between these lugs here, is 22 millimeters. Now, before getting more into it, this is not the stock bracelet that it comes on. This is actually a Super Jubilee bracelet from Strapcode. As you can see, it's much higher quality, and it looks much better. We have solid end links as well, screwed in links, a nice durable clasp here, nice milled clasp as you can see. And that just makes the watch a bit more, I would say, upgraded to the times, or a bit more luxurious. Now looking closer at this watch, as you can see, it's a very clean dial, typical diving dial. This is a 200 meter ISO rated diving watch, so you can definitely take this thing diving up to 200 meters, which should be enough for you. Now in terms of some of the basic functions of the watch, obviously it's an automatic watch. We do have your crown located at the 4 o'clock position, which is not the 3 o'clock position, which you would usually see on a diving watch. And it's kind of, kind of retro, kind of vintage styled. In my opinion, this is not a new model. This was released some years ago. And I believe they're selling for about $200, 200 US dollars now. And yeah, we have a day and a date complication over here, as you can see, which is functioned by this crown right here. This crown is screwed down. Some nice crown guards here, as you can see. Definitely protects the crown. Pops out. No self-winding on this movement. First position, we're going to go up, change the date. Then we're going to go down, change the day of the week. We have an English and Spanish date wheel on this model. Now the final position, we're going to be able to set the time here. As you see, we do not have the hacking function, so the seconds hand will continue to run even when you're setting the time. But you can back hack it, as you see when I go like this. It kind of stops it a little bit. So that can be useful. But other than that, functions with ease. The crown is not signed. The case is a mix of brushed and polished surfaces. The case is completely comprised of a 316L stainless steel. As you can see, it's brushed on this. It's polished on these sides here. Nice high polish here. And then on top of the lugs, it is actually brushed, as you can see. Which I think looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Now in terms of some other stuff about this watch, inside of this watch is the Seiko 7S26 movement. That is an automatic movement. It's kind of an older movement from Seiko. Now they have the 4R36, the 6R15, and the 8, I believe the the one that's used in the Marine Master, I forget the name. But yeah, we have actually a mineral crystal. They like to call it, I believe they call it the Hardlex crystal. It's basically a mineral crystal, and one thing I don't like about it, it gets very smudgy. As you can see, I just cleaned it off. Let me clean it off again. But it does get very smudgy, and that's one thing I don't like about it. Now we do have a unidirectional rotating bezel here with some nice grip, which is kind of nice. It does rotate nicely. And lines up with the 12 o'clock. Now the loom on this watch is some of the best loom I've seen around, especially at this price point. We get Seiko's Lumabrite, which is their own loom that they created. It's seen on other watches like the Seiko Turtle and tons of other watches they produce. It's definitely great loom. I will get you guys a loom shot towards the end of the video, because it's definitely something to take note of. Now the dial is quite, I would say, symmetrical, minus this day and date here. I do like the red divers 200 meters, and then Seiko is printed in automatic. Now going to the case back, The case back is screwed down. I'm not sure if my camera can pick this up, but we do get that wave, that infamous Japanese wave on the back. Yeah, not picking it up here, but you can kind of see. There it goes. Yeah, so we get that nice little wave, which is kind of their logo for this series. Now, getting a little more into the movement, the Seiko 7S26 movement actually contains 21 jewels, and it has a dia-shock or dia-shock, which is some shock resistance, so it's not going to mess up when you bang it or something of that nature. We also do get a 40-hour power reserve, which is quite nice. We also do get, they say it's minus 20 or plus 40 seconds a day. It's about plus 16 seconds a day from my experiences with this watch over the past 2 years. Which is really not that bad for a watch costing about $200, in my opinion. I mean, the finishing is good. You get some nice grip on to rotate the bezel here, as you can see. Right now I want to get you guys a nice loom shot, and let's wrap it up here. Here is a nice loom shot of Seiko's Lumibright loom, and as you can see, this loom is no joke. It's really bright. It's just as bright as something like a Rolex Submariner, even a little brighter. As you can see, even the pip over here is loomed, so if it's dark out and you want to time something, you can do it at night. As you can see, it's really bright, and it's definitely one of the strong points on this watch. Here is the watch featured on my 6.5-inch wrist. As you can see, it fits end to end, a little less I would say on this side, but it does fit quite nice, as you can see. Definitely looks nice. I like the Pepsi. I really like the Pepsi better than the black dial variation. And if I did not mention, this movement is actually ISO certified. It's an ISO certified diver. It has to go through many rigorous tests, and there's a whole list of criteria for this. You can check that out on Google if you want. It's a pretty long read there. But anyway, overall, for $200, it's a very nice looking watch. It's definitely going to work. It functions. It's really not going to break down. I did review this bracelet on one of my other videos. I'll throw the link in the description below. But in my opinion, it's definitely a must. The stock Seiko bracelet is kind of bad. It's really, kind of loose and ratchety, and it feels cheap. But once you throw this Super Jubilee bracelet, it changes the whole watch, in my opinion. Now, I did leave some links in the description below. You can check out my blog, which is pretty nice. It's coming along pretty good. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, some helpful links down in the description below where you can grab one of these where I bought mine. And I've had no problem so far. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Please subscribe, smash that like button, and let me know what you think. Peace.